Howdy, this is Pradeep from Team Ninja, and we are going to present a project on cognitive analysis of Google Plus user interface. So, what is Google Plus? Google Plus is a social media platform owned by Google. It was released as a competitor to prevalent websites such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and so on, though there was always something that never allowed it to become as popular as those. This study conducts various analyses conducted under a controlled environment to find out the faults in Google Plus as a system. Now, Google Plus website itself can be categorized as a group of interacting subsystems such as algorithms, interfaces, decision modules, etc. This study focuses only on the human-machine interaction on Google Plus website and how this interface either enriches or spoils their experience. Now, if you look at the key components, the user base comprises of teenagers or young adults who are looking to make new friends, join groups, or chat with others. We also have businessmen who are trying to use Google Plus as a productive tool to promote their services, items, or organizations. The third group would be the grown-ups who use Google Plus as a media to keep in touch with their old friends and read articles of interest. The environment, however, strictly depends on the device being used to access the website. The experience might differ from others as usability changes with additional features. There are sometimes offered or smaller more that are sometimes offered on smaller or more portable devices. The organizational factors include the layout design, interface, terminologies, and help options that Google Plus feels is sufficient to take care of their user needs. The technology offered by platform are messaging, calling, streaming, and much more. In fact, there are so many features that people don't really know about all of them. So, what happened to Google Plus? Google Plus started off as a strong social media tool, but it started to fail in 2018. Now, this failure can be attributed to multiple issues ranging from security concerns to lack of management. Here we are only concerned with the new interface that came along with the 2017 upgrade. The problem identification methodology will be covered by Khushbu.
Hi, this is Khushbu. So let's move towards the problems identification methods. So we see here that first of our method is hierarchical task analysis, and we identified 3 tasks for this analysis. First is set up a Google Plus profile, second is optimizing the profile, and third is promoting a post. On the right side on the slide we see the flowchart for the setting up a Google Plus profile task. So when we go towards next slide, here we see that the flowchart for the next 2 tasks are provided, that is optimizing the Google Plus profile and promoting the post. Our second method was persona method. So we tried to capture different types of users based on their demographic, backstories, and motivations to use Google Plus. We tried to hypothetically represent the users using persona method concept taught in the class. We role-played the above-mentioned task scenario within our group and interview people of different age and background to understand how different personas would try to accomplish their personal goals using Google Plus. The next is survey method. So we conducted a survey to know how difficult are the below tasks, that is create circle, change profile, send a message, organizing hurdle, and so on, to perform, and based on that we created survey matrix which is shown on the slide. So this survey severity matrix included the observed average time duration to perform each task and if it is easy, manageable, or confusing. So based on this matrix we identified few problems like difference in ideologies of creators and end users, lack of strategic placement of menu options, confusing language, less intuitive and complicated clutter interface.
Now I will discuss a few practical solutions to the problems that were discussed by my teammate Khushbu. We made use of Nielsen's usability heuristics to come up with these solutions. The first one is match between system and real world. As you can see, Google Plus separates communities and people section. People section is further divided into friends, family, and acquaintances. So to avoid this confusion, we can link communities and people together. The second one is consistency and standards. As you can see, there are two options assigned to perform single task, that is to upload status and post pictures. Also, the help button is located in the bottom left, which is not as per the standard layout, as we usually see at the top right in other social media or Gmail accounts. The third one is aesthetic and minimalist design. When we conducted a survey with new Google Plus users, their first impression was the feed is too cluttered and asymmetrical. The news feed in Google Plus should have symmetrical balance instead of cluttered posts or feeds as shown in the figure. The fourth one is user control and freedom. One of the issues people reported was they usually see the same posts again and again. So a sort option would help in choosing what the user wants to see, whether they want to see recent posts or the top posts. Fifth one is help and documentation. When you go to help in Google Plus, it takes you to another window where you have to describe the issue or search for it. This is much tedious, isn't it? Instead, we can use training modules as used in LinkedIn for better troubleshooting.
One of the major reasons that Google Plus failed is because of the gap between designer and the user. The gulf of execution and evaluation concept taught in class is very apt in the case of Google Plus. To bridge this gap, the designer's understanding of how the system works and the user's understanding of how the system works should match. Unfortunately, this doesn't happen in Google Plus, as the designer's aim was to create Google Plus to gather as much as information as possible from the user to help them advance in machine learning and artificial intelligence, whereas the user sees this more like a social media platform. Some of the things the designers can do to help bridge the user this gulf are mentioned in this slide, which helps the user support the human system interaction. Now let's see the sky's the limit solution. The sky's the limit solution is based on the fourth problem, which is Google Plus is less intuitive and has a complicated interface. This solution brings in more advanced features which will solve many of the cognitive issues. This redesigned solution will make it easy for the user to access different options, perform different tasks, and also will make the interface easy and less complicated. So how about a Google Plus Assistant which has similar features as Google Assistant, Alexa, or maybe Siri? Since Google already has Google Assistant, implementing Google Plus Assistant won't be difficult for Google, and we believe it's totally achievable and it's well within Google's technical capabilities. Now let's see how we could implement Google Plus Assistant. A typical working of such a voice over command system is shown in this slide. Step 1, the user will command through maybe desktop, phone, or microphone. This command will go to Google Plus Assistant. For example, OK Google Plus, connect me to Tanvi from my circles. Step 2, Google will process this. First, it will convert the speech to text, and then it will match this text to an existing task which will be already coded in, and the appropriate action will be performed. Step 3, now this text will be converted into speech and Google Plus will reply you back. Wow, isn't this amazing? The entire 3-step procedure is very similar to Google Assistant. Only new tasks and procedure need to be coded in the Google server. Google Plus Assistant should also be able to perform all the tasks that were mentioned above, like OK Google Plus, please create a circle, or please find my friend in my shared interest, or please change my privacy settings. This Google Plus Assistant will also have a training or help incorporated in it, so that if the user is not able to understand, or he or she can use this Google Plus Assistant for training purpose. This can be in terms of a FAQ, or it can also be in terms of a video which the assistant can autoplay when the user will command. So yes, this was our Sky's the Limit solution, and with this we come to an end to our presentation. Thank you all for listening, and this is Team Ninja signing off.